Welcome back, everybody. This is Matthew, aka the Nuclear Cyborg, aka Jedi Master Cyborg. Today is July 5th, and it is currently 2:13 p.m. in the afternoon. Welcome back, everybody, again, and thank you all for clicking on this video. I've been trying to re-kickstart my channel after I've lost all my content, so today we're going to be looking at something that I talked about a lot on my channel before it got everything got deleted. As you can see and tell, that I'm a big Star Wars fan. The original Star Wars idea, George Lucas's vision of Star Wars, and so today, even though I'm a fan of George Lucas's Star Wars and not necessarily Disney Star Wars, we're going to be comparing today the two Power and Control Lightsabers that you can build at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. As I've said, I'm trying to restart my channel here, and so this is it's a little bit difficult, a little hard, because it presents its own challenge where I've got to kind of like go backwards or rethink how to do things, because I did a video before of individual, because this one here I built back in 2019, and so the other one I'm not sure when I built it. I'm guessing 2023, but I'm not exactly sure. So I did a video at around that time, before I lost all my content again, and so now again I'm gonna just try to compare them. I've built 6 out of the 8 lightsabers that you can build in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Savi's workshop. The original 4 from the first generation that you can no longer build at Savi's workshop. You could probably still find the parts on eBay and buy them separately there if you want to, which, depending on how you look at it, can be cheaper than actually going to Walt Disney World, because again you have to buy a park ticket. Otherwise, the parts on eBay will probably be higher than what they are actually at Walt Disney World. But again, you're not paying for a park ticket, so it's kind of a trade-off. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and disassemble these. There's tons of videos already out on YouTube, and so I'm kind of like playing catch-up and trying to re-kickstart my channel, as I've said. And so but we're going to build these from the beginning, and just kind of compare the differences. And so it's going to take me a minute. Just let me disassemble these, and then we'll get going. Thank you. Okay, everybody, here we go. We got both of the Power and Control lightsabers disassembled. So the one on the left here, right here, is the one I built in 2019, when Savi's workshop was pretty much just getting up and running. Then the one on the right here is the one I built in I'm not exactly sure, the 2000s, the early 2000s and 2020s, 2021, 22, 23, somewhere around there. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, so look, this one, the one on the left first, the one on the right second. And as you can see, I chose different kyber crystals. First, Power and Control, Sith, pretty much lightsabers. Got the red crystal, but for different reasons, which I'll tell you about later, I went ahead and got the purple crystal for the second build. And as I said earlier, I got 6 out of the 8, and so next year my family is planning on going back to Walt Disney World, and then I'll see about building the last 2, which is the Elemental Nature and the Peace and Justice lightsabers are the last 2 I have to build. I don't necessarily want to, but I gotta complete the collection. Like I said, the first 4 you can no longer build from Generation 1. So if they retire Generation 2, I want to have all 4. And so, yeah, we'll go from there. Okay? Next. Alright, my friends, welcome back again. Now we're going to build these lightsabers. from scratch. They've been disassembled now, and so we're gonna put them together piece by piece. So there's tons of videos already on YouTube. Like I said, the Savi's are Walt Disney World and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has has been out since 2019, and so a lot of people have been putting up their videos. Me, I'm just trying to re-kickstart my channel again, as I lost all my content for whatever reason. Anyway, so let's just get started. So you're gonna start with this, which is the core. Everything wraps around, and I display these, and so I usually don't. Taking out the battery pack, because once you put a crystal in, it's going to start depleting the batteries, and so you leave them in there. You come back, a week later or so, and it doesn't work. The batteries are dead, and you have to replace the batteries, which is not hard. Excuse me. One moment. Sorry. Once I start talking too much, my throat gets dry, and I start. All right. Okay, so the battery pack. So here's the battery pack. Now, once you start your build in Savi's workshop, the battery pack will already be inside. But as I've told you before, I usually take it out when I display them here in my Star Wars room to save the battery. Anyway, so right here on one end, let's see which in trying to find that. Pretty sure it's got to be this end. I don't see. Here it is. Okay, so as you are probably already aware that each one has a red arrow on it. There's one inside. I'm not sure if you can see that, if I can angle it right, but there's another red arrow inside the skeleton where you put the battery pack in. So you just line those two arrows up, and you slide the battery pack in, twist it to the right, righty-tighty, and the battery pack goes right in there. Okay, and then next, in the Savi's workshop, the little show that they put on, then they come around and offer you a big, I'm not exactly sure what to call it. There's a big collection of kyber crystals that you get to choose from. Of course, you get to choose the red, the blue, the green, or the purple. And so we have the red crystal here. Now, I'm not exactly sure which crystal this is. Of course, it's going to be Generation 1. So, I haven't, if I've tested it before, I don't know. In a holocron, if I tested it in a holocron, I'm not exactly sure who this is at the moment. Maybe I can try it in a later video. But we just put it here in the center, as you probably are already aware. The best way I've learned how to do it is to go behind it, and then push down, and then the top one you'll hear snap into place. And as you can see, the lights are blinking, so the crystal has connected with the lightsaber. Kind of spin it around a little bit, give it a little spin, just to make sure that it's in there. Okay, then the next step, as you probably are already aware, is that you have the activation switches, and there's 2 sets, but you get to choose one set. Putting this down for a moment. We have, these are the ones I chose. Okay. As you're probably again aware by now, probably, is that, and you've probably seen it already too, is like on the little skeleton here, you have the this little squares here, the blue and red square. The pieces have either a red or blue square. You see it right there in the corner, in the bottom corner, and you just match those up. So red on red and blue on blue, and they just snap right into place. Okay, then next we have the sleeves. There are 4 sleeves, as you're already aware of. I won't stop saying that. You're probably already aware of all this stuff. Okay, so we got 2 sleeves here. I got this one here. This one is going to be on the top. And then I got this one here with the grips. This is going to be on the bottom section. So we take this again. Like I said, this one is going to be on the bottom with the arrows or grips facing downward. Slide it in, and then you twist to the right, tighten it up, and bam. Okay, so we take the next one, go from the top down, slide it into place, and tighten it down. There we go. Now we're going to take the emitter. This is the emitter that I chose. Has the like 4 little designs. Well, actually, it's two designs on the front and the back, kind of like these black triangles or black squares. So from the top, this is the top. This is where the blade will go in, and we screw that down and tighten it down. Okay, then we take the pommel. So as you see, this is the battery pack that pokes out. The pommel here, this is the one I chose. It matches with the rest of the lightsaber, but it has this D-ring on here that you can clip if you get the belt clip for your so you can carry your lightsaber on your belt. At the what was it, Doc Rondor's? I think it's Doc Rondor's shop. I don't necessarily like the D-ring because it doesn't hold it in place as well, and so it just, as you walk, it kind of like bounces on your leg as your leg moves up and down, and it can. It said these are heavy pieces, and when it's all together, you know, it bounces against your knee, and you're like, you know, it doesn't feel good. Doesn't necessarily hurt, but it doesn't feel good. So tighten that down. And there you go. There's the first generation Power and Control Lightsaber. This is what I called it, the Sith Saber. You know, looks more like what something like Darth Vader would have. And so the switch here, if the crystal activating, the switch you can use, but you'll get this noise that, you know, it's like the saber is malfunctioned because there's no blade in it. I'll get the blade in a minute, and we'll show off the colors and the sounds, which again you've probably already heard. Okay, let's move on to the second one. Again, I'm not exactly sure when I made this one, but again, you have the same skeleton. Now, what's funny about this one is what I found is that the battery pack does not fit into the old one. I'm not exactly sure why. It leads me to believe that this skeleton is a little bit slimmer, maybe a little bit slimmer, or this is slimmer than the original one, because it will not fit. It goes in a little bit, but then maybe about a third of the way, and then stops. I mean, you might be able to like press it in there, force it in there, but then you would have a really difficult time getting it out. So, interesting observation there. The same as before, you just match up those arrows inside, press it down and twist to the right, and boom. So you got the battery pack in there. Now you go for the crystal, and again, this time I got the purple crystal, which this is, purple is kind of like reflects my own soul. I'm kind of a mix of light and dark myself. So the first one, you know, with the red crystal, I was like, you know, let's do what the original Sith would be like, and let's do, you know, the second time around, doing the second Power and Control crystal or lightsaber, let's get something that's towards me. Also, if the second time around, the second generation lightsabers, if I went at it as if I could only build one. So the Power and Control, looking at them all, that's the one I wanted to build if I was only going to build one. So it was a little bit more personal, I guess you would say. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but that's what the choices I made. So just as before, you just press it down. As you can see, the lights are blinking. Purple lights. I think that's really cool technology. How they figured that how to do that. You can put the different colors crystals inside, and each, and somehow I'm not. I wish I could find. I'm gonna find out how. I'll find out how they do that. How it recognizes. It's. I mean, it's probably the chip inside the crystal that connects with the skeleton here, and tells it what color it is and all that, and all the sounds and effects. But again, I think that's always pretty cool. It always gets me how every time it rings and then different colors are flashing. Okay, so putting this down for a second, we go over to the power switches or the activation switches. Now the design I got for this lightsaber build has a lot of red lines in it, kind of like wires around the outside. So it's kind of like the crystal is what powers the lightsaber, and so sort of like electricity, how the power would go through the wires and all, and then up through the saber to the blade. So as you can see, this is the power switches that I got, and as you can see on one of them, this one right here, you can see the red wires, and then on the other one you got the switch. All right. So same as before. We just match the squares. So one has a red square in place. Oh, dropped it. One moment. Doesn't it just figure? There we go. And then again, match up the blue square in place. Another interesting detail that I found out is like for the Generation 1, the power switches or activation switches, whichever you want to call them. In Generation 1, again, you have two sets that you get to choose from. You get to choose one set. But as I understand it, I never did it myself, but supposedly you could mix and match from from one set to the second set. So you could take one from one set one from set 2, and mix and match them. Here in the Generation 2 lightsaber, the sets match. You cannot mix and match, because I tried to do that during the build. Okay, let's go for the sleeves. This one here has a kind of like a little grip to it. You can see it there. So this is one that's going to be on the bottom portion. So it's like where your hand would go, or one of your hands would go, and you could grip it. Excuse me again. Grip it easier. So slide that down. Again, it's got a red switch, a red little line on it, kind of like a wire. You can see that there. It's right there. So, theoretically, my thinking was that all this red kind of lines or wires, again, you see, this up here, obviously supposedly the crystal is what powers the lightsaber, so the power is coming from there to down these red lines, around this line, and the other ones will have a little bit of red in them as well. Okay, so let's go with this other one. As you can see, it also has these red lines on them, these red cords or power lines. I mean, it's not, they're just designs, obviously. It's metal, but So like I said, and then those two, another good thing, interesting thing is about these is that they match up a lot easier when you screw them on. Generation 1, I guess they were kind of like using as a kind of a test phase, and so they've made a lot of improvements on these Generation 2 lightsabers, where everything matches and lines up. So there's that one, and then we'll start with the pommel on this one, because the emitter really got made me want to build this one if I only was able to do one. So again, we have the battery pack right here. This pokes out. You know, here's the pommel, and again, it's got a red line there on top, around the top here. So we just screw that down. And again, it matches with the rest of the Saber, but this one again has the D ring on it, which I'm not really a fan of, because again it especially with this one, and especially with the mitter that I'll show you in a minute, it bounces up against your leg, and it hurts. It hurts. It does not feel good. So the emitter, the last part, we'll put that on, and this is why I wanted to build this Saber. If this was the only one I could build, this is what I wanted to build, because it has these really cool design of these four sort of like triangles coming up on each side, on the four sides. Is pretty cool. Now, when I was in the Savi's workshop building the Saber, I actually had to get the other emitter and put that on, and then when I got out, I had to go back to where you check in and get your pin or pay to be able for your build, and trade that other emitter for this one. This one, I suppose, being a little bit big, it couldn't fit inside the tray, or if it could, if it did fit inside the tray, then you couldn't stack a tray on top of it. So I guess it was just either they didn't think of that, or it just takes up too much room, or for whatever else reason, I just had to switch them out. So place that on here. And there you have it. The second generation Power and Control Lightsaber. Now, the other pommel also had sort of like that four design triangles, but I thought it was a bit much, and also, as I told you before, all these red lines, kind of like what I thought were kind of like what I envisioned are wires. It just all seems to match and fit. So again, there's no blade yet, so it gives you that sound that something's not right. I'll just give me a moment, and I'll grab a blade, and you can see the colors and sounds. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and I got a blade out, and we'll start with the first generation. This is going to be red. This is the grip from the bottom. The blade will come out this way. So here we go. We'll get the blade right here. Fits right down. Oh, here's another cool thing, is that on one of the sides of this upper portion, you can see it blinking. So that's pretty cool. I didn't notice that before. So anyway, so you just twist it until it goes down, fits right in there, and you'll hear that noise that the blade has attached to the Saber. And we'll light this up. There it goes. So you see, this is the red. Now the blades are pretty good. They're pretty sturdy. You could play a makeshift duel with these, with the another Saber. If you have a friend, they can, not too hard, not swinging too hard, but they can take pretty good damage. But again, I wouldn't go full on duel, unless you want to hurt somebody or damage your blade. So that was the red one. We'll do the purple one now. Generation 2 Power and Control Saber. The blades fit, but the battery packs don't. Very odd, very odd. So here we go. kind of like Darth Revan on the cover of his book, where he's got the two lightsabers across his chest, the red and purple. Alright everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I very much appreciate it. As I've said throughout this video, that I'm trying to re-kickstart my channel here. So if you like what you saw, if you please like the video, leave a comment down below, subscribe or resubscribe to my channel. If it's your first time clicking on this video, thank you so much for clicking on it and watching this video through. So please drop the comments down below, like this video, and subscribe. If you've clicked on my videos before, and before I lost all my content, and now that I'm trying to restart it and add content to my channel, you can please click the subscribe button and resubscribe to my channel. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and may the force be with you. Bye.